It is always with a sense of pride that the ICTY marks International Women's Day. This is because the ICTY, in conjunction with its sister tribunal, the ICTR, has transformed the landscape of accountability for crimes against women committed during periods of armed conflict, particularly when it comes to crimes of sexual violence.
On International Women's Day, we have an extra reason to remember the women and girls who endured sexual violence during the wars in the former Yugoslavia. If we cast our minds back to the newspaper headlines of the 1990s, we recall the world's shock at learning of the role that sexual violence played in those conflicts, the staggering number of victims, the calculated purpose underlying it, and the sheer breadth of the target group, with even girls as young as 12 being sexually enslaved, gang-raped and tortured.
Through its judgments and decisions, the ICTY has recognized that acts of rape committed during times of armed conflict may not only be a crime against humanity, but may also constitute torture and other international crimes. The ICTY's rules of procedure and evidence, adopted by the tribunal's judges, make it clear that in cases of sexual assault, no corroboration of the victim's testimony shall be required, and no evidence of the victim's prior sexual conduct shall be admitted.
Without question, it takes lots of strength and courage to come here to The Hague and to testify about the most horrific events, including sexual assault. Most of these women come here anxious and frightened because they don't know what to expect. But most of the time they also leave with a sense of pride because they have faced the accused and because they have spoken about the unspeakable. For many of them, being here and testifying is very important because they want to contribute to the justice in hope that this will prevent these horrific events happening ever again.
Imagine what it must be like to stand before a panel of foreign judges and lawyers in a foreign land and to relive and recount one of the most violent and terrifying things possible, and in some cases to even confront their rapist in the courtroom. The courage of these women and girls has been remarkable. Some have told us after their testimony that they would testify again tomorrow if asked. Their reason? So that no one else will ever have to go through what they have been through. And in this respect, they have achieved a lot. Without them, there would be no groundbreaking precedents on sexual violence crimes at the ICTY, paving the way for others like the International Criminal Court.
From 1995 till today, we have had almost 4,500 witnesses. 700 support persons, of whom majority are women, have been granted as support persons. This again underlines the importance of support provided by women in very challenging circumstances.
Overall, it remains clear that sexual violence crimes, more than any other category, remain subject to misconceptions that can block our legal analysis, thwart accountability efforts, and minimise the prospects of redress for victims. On International Women's Day, we should follow the lead of the women and girls who've testified in ICTY proceedings and those in other courtrooms around the world, and renew our commitment to overcoming these challenges for the future.
Today, more than 2 decades after the founding of the ICTY, reports of rape, sexual enslavement, and other forms of sexual or gender-based violence committed in the context of armed conflict can no longer be disregarded or discounted as collateral damage or incidental harm. This represents a remarkable achievement, not just for the ICTY, but for women and men of conscience everywhere. Thank you.